If you are over 65 and you wake up 2, 3, even 4 times every night just to shuffle to the bathroom, I need you to hear this before anyone else fills your head with the wrong idea. You have probably been told the answer is simple: drink less water, cut off all liquids after 6. Just tough it out, it comes with age. I am telling you plainly that this advice is not only incomplete. For most older folks, it is flat wrong, and it may be making your nights worse instead of better. Here is the part that surprises almost everyone. The water that pulls you out of bed at 2 in the morning is usually not the water you drank at dinner. It is water that has been hiding in your legs all day long. It pooled quietly around your ankles and your calves while you sat in your favorite chair. Then the moment you lie down flat in bed, your body finally gets its chance to move that trapped fluid back into your blood. Your kidneys grab it, turn it into urine, and a couple of hours later your bladder is full and your eyes are wide open again. So the real question was never how much you drink. The real question is when your body decides to let the water go. And that, I promise you, is something you can control. Not with a pill, not with surgery, with a small set of habits you do in the late afternoon and in the hour before you sleep. I am going to hand you every one of them tonight. The exact order, the exact drink to sip, and the one simple move that most people get completely backwards, the move that alone can cut a trip or two out of your night. Stay with me, because I am saving the most powerful habit for a little later, and you do not want to miss it. Let me be honest with you about why I care so much about this. I have spent years reading the research on sleep, on aging, and on the bladder, and talking with people who live with this every single night. This is not a rare problem. Doctors who study it will tell you that as many as 2 out of 3 adults over the age of 65 get up at least once a night to urinate, and a huge share of them get up 2 times or more. You are not broken. You are not weak. Your body is simply doing something very normal for its age, and once you understand what that something is, you can change it. The condition has a name. Doctors call it noxuria. That word just means passing urine at night enough that it wakes you from sleep. And here is the first thing you must understand, because it changes everything. Noxuria is almost never about a small bladder alone. Most of the time it is about how much urine your body makes while you sleep. When your body makes too much urine at night, doctors call that nocturnal polyuria. That is the real enemy for a great many of you watching. Your bladder may be perfectly fine. The trouble is that it keeps getting filled up, hour after hour, all night long. Why does an older body make so much urine at night? This is where it gets interesting, and this is where the fix begins. When you were young, your body made more of a special hormone at night. It is called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH for short. Think of ADH as a gentle hand on the tap. At night, that hormone told your kidneys to slow down, to hold onto water, to make less urine so you could sleep for hours without stirring. As we age, we make less of this hormone, and the hormone we do make does not work as well. So the tap never really slows down. Your kidneys stay busy all night filling that bladder while you are trying to rest. Nobody warned you about this. Nobody explained it, but now you know. Now come back to your legs, because this is the piece that ties it all together. During the day, when you sit or stand, gravity pulls the watery part of your blood down toward your feet. In a younger, stronger body, the veins and the muscles pump most of it back up. But as we get older, and especially if we sit for long stretches, that fluid lingers. It seeps out into the tissue around your ankles and lower legs. You may see it as puffiness. You press your thumb into your ankle and it leaves a little dent. That is fluid. That is a hidden reservoir of water your body has been storing all day. Some people carry a surprising amount down there, and they have no idea. The night comes. You lie down flat. Gravity is no longer pulling that fluid into your legs, so it drains back up into your bloodstream all at once. Your heart senses the extra fluid. Your kidneys get the signal to clear it, and they do exactly what they are built to do. They make urine, lots of it. That is why so many people fill up fast in the first 2 or 3 hours after lying down. It is not the tea you had. It is the flood coming up out of your legs. Once you truly understand that, the whole game changes. Because if the water is going to come out of your legs anyway, you want it to come out earlier, while you are still awake and upright, so you can send it down the toilet before you ever get into bed. You do not want it waiting until 2 in the morning. And that brings me to the single most powerful habit on this entire list. I told you I was saving it, so here it is. In the late afternoon or early evening, a few hours before bed, you are going to put your legs up. Lie back on the couch or the bed and raise your feet above the level of your heart. Prop them on a couple of pillows or against the wall. Stay there for at least 30 minutes, and an hour is even better. What you are doing is using gravity on purpose. You are draining that hidden reservoir out of your legs while you are still awake. Your kidneys will get to work right then. You will feel the urge to go while you are watching the evening news, not while you are trying to sleep. You empty that fluid out on your own schedule, not the bladder's schedule. Do this every single day, and many of you will feel the difference within a week. I want to say that again, plainly, because it is the heart of everything. Get the water out of your legs in the early evening, and it will not wake you in the middle of the night. Put your legs up before dinner or right after. Let the fluid come up while you sit on the toilet, not while you lie in the dark. This one habit is the closest thing there is to a secret, and hardly anyone is doing it. There's a partner to this habit that makes it even stronger, and it costs you almost nothing. During the day, especially if your ankles swell, wear a pair of compression socks. These are snug socks that gently squeeze your lower legs and help keep the fluid from pooling in the first place. You put them on in the morning and take them off before bed. They are sold in any pharmacy. If your legs swell a lot, ask your doctor which strength is right for you, because in a few conditions they are not the best idea. But for most people, a light daytime compression sock plus that evening leg lift is a 1-2 punch against the flood. Fewer pools of hidden water means less to drain when you lie down. There is a reason that fluid pools in your legs in the first place, and there is a simple daytime habit that fights it. The muscles in your calves work like a second heart. Every time you walk or flex your feet, those muscles squeeze the veins in your legs and push blood and fluid back up toward your heart. When you sit still for hour after hour, that pump goes quiet and gravity wins, and the fluid settles down around your ankles. So do not sit all day. Every hour or so, get up and walk around the room for a few minutes. If getting up is hard, then while you are sitting, pump your ankles up and down, point your toes and pull them back, 20 or 30 times. Circle your feet. Do it while you watch television. You are keeping the fluid moving so less of it pools, which means less of it floods your kidneys when you finally lie down. Move by day, and you drain less by night. Now let me talk about the thing everyone worries about, which is water itself. Please, please do not stop drinking water during the day. I mean that. When older people cut their fluids too hard, they get dehydrated, and dehydration is dangerous. It leads to dizziness, to falls, to confusion, to urine infections, and to more trouble than the bathroom trips ever caused. The answer is never to dry yourself out. The answer is timing. This is the difference between drinking less and drinking smarter, and it is everything. Here is how you drink smarter. Front load your fluids. Drink most of your water in the morning and the early afternoon, when your body has all day to process it and pass it while you are up and about. Then, as the evening comes, you gently taper down. A good simple rule is to try to finish most of your drinking about 3 hours before you lie down. In the last 2 to 3 hours before bed, take only small sips if you are thirsty or if you need to take a pill. You are not banning water at night. You are just moving the big glasses earlier in the day. Same amount of water, different clock. That alone can pull a trip out of your night. Let me make it even more concrete so you know exactly what to do. Start with a full glass of water when you wake up, because your body has gone all night without any. Drink a glass with your breakfast, one in the mid-morning, one with lunch, and one in the mid-afternoon. That is the bulk of your day's water, and it is all going in while you are upright and active, so you pass it during daylight. By the time dinner comes, you are only topping off, not filling up. This way you stay well watered, your urine stays a pale straw color the way it should, and you are not carrying a big load of fluid into bed with you. If you notice your urine is dark and strong, you are drinking too little, not too much, so add more in the morning. Watered by day, quiet by night. That is the pattern. Let me repeat the core idea one more time because I want it to stick. It is not about drinking less. It is about drinking earlier and about getting the fluid out of your legs before you sleep. Say that to yourself. Earlier in the day, legs up in the evening, small sips at night. That is the spine of this whole plan. Now we come to the evening troublemakers. There are 3 things you may be drinking or eating at night that quietly force your kidneys into overdrive, and each one does its damage in a different way. I want you to understand exactly how, because when you understand it, you will not be tempted to cheat. The first is caffeine. Coffee, black tea, green tea, many colas, and even some chocolate carry it. Caffeine is a diuretic. That is a fancy word for something that makes your kidneys pump out more urine. On top of that, caffeine is a bladder irritant. It pokes at your bladder and makes it feel full even when it is not. So you feel the urge sooner and stronger. Caffeine can stay working in an older body for many hours, far longer than you would guess. So that afternoon cup you thought was harmless may still be pushing urine out at midnight. My advice is to make your last caffeine of the day around noon, or by early afternoon at the latest. Switch to something warm and caffeine-free in the evening, and I will give you a good one shortly. The second troublemaker is alcohol. That evening glass of wine or nightcap feels like it helps you sleep, but it works against you in two ways. Like caffeine, alcohol is a diuretic. But worse, alcohol switches off that helpful hormone we talked about, the ADH, the gentle hand on the tap. Remember, ADH is supposed to slow your kidneys at night. Alcohol tells it to stand down. So your kidneys run wide open right when you want them quiet. That is why a couple of drinks in the evening can have you up again and again. If you enjoy a drink, have it earlier, have less of it, and match it with a glass of water so you are not going to bed with the tap stuck open. The third troublemaker is the one almost nobody suspects. It is salt. Salt on your dinner. Salt in canned soup, in processed meats, in frozen dinners, in chips, in pickles, in most restaurant food. Here is how it works. Salt holds onto water in your body. When you eat a salty dinner, your body clings to extra fluid to balance that salt. Then overnight, your kidneys work to flush the excess salt out, and they carry a lot of water out with it. A salty evening meal is like setting an alarm clock inside your bladder. So keep your dinner lighter on salt. Cook fresh where you can. Season with herbs, garlic, lemon, pepper, and vinegar instead of the salt shaker. Rinse canned beans and vegetables under the tap to wash salt away. Read the labels and pick the lower sodium version. Cutting evening salt is one of the most underrated fixes there is, and it costs you nothing but a small change of habit. There is one more habit that deals with the bladder end of things rather than the kidney end, and it matters most for the men watching, though women benefit too. It is called double voiding, and it is very simple. When you go to the bathroom the last time before bed, empty your bladder, then stand or sit and wait about half a minute, relax and try again. Very often a second wave will come. This matters because as men age, the prostate can enlarge and press on the tube that drains the bladder. That makes it harder to empty all the way in one go. Urine left behind means the bladder fills to full faster once you lie down. So you empty, you wait, you empty again. Get every last drop out before your head hits the pillow. Small trick, real payoff. Here is a small thing that catches a lot of people by surprise, and it is easy to fix. Cold makes your body produce more urine. When you get chilled, your body pulls blood in from the surface to protect your core, and that raises the pressure inside you, and your kidneys respond by making more urine. So if your feet get cold at night, or your bedroom is chilly, you may be waking partly because of the cold. The fix is simple. Keep warm. Wear a pair of warm, loose bed socks. Keep a good blanket within reach. Warm your feet before you climb in. Do not let the bedroom get cold and drafty. Warm feet and a cozy bed are not just about comfort. They genuinely tell your kidneys to settle down. I also want you to think about how you respond when you do wake. Not every stir in the night is a full bladder demanding to be emptied. Sometimes you wake for another reason entirely. A noise, a dream, a stiff shoulder, and then you feel a small twinge and assume you have to go, so up you get. But if you always answer that small twinge, you slowly teach your bladder to expect a trip every single time you stir, and it starts calling for one sooner and sooner. So when you wake and the urge is only small, try this first. Lie still, breathe slow and deep, relax your belly. Very often that small urge will pass, and you will drift back to sleep without ever getting up. Over the weeks, as you gently let the smaller urges pass, your bladder learns to hold a little more and to bother you a little less. Do not strain and do not hold when the need is real, but do give the small false alarms a chance to fade on their own. Now let me give you the warm drink I promised, because a good bedtime routine deserves a good ritual, and this one will not send you running to the bathroom. In the evening, about an hour or so before you plan to sleep, make yourself a small cup, and I mean small, about half a cup, of warm chamomile tea. Chamomile has no caffeine. It is gentle, it is calming, and for generations people have sipped it to settle down for the night. If you like, add a tiny drop of honey. That is it. Keep the cup small on purpose because the goal is comfort and calm, not a big load of liquid. Sip it slowly during your wind down, not in the last few minutes before you lie down. The warmth relaxes you, the ritual tells your body it is time to rest, and there is barely any fluid to deal with. This replaces the coffee, the tea, and the nightcap that were working against you. If you want something with a little more to it, here is a second gentle option. Warm a small cup of water, add a splash, just a splash, of tart cherry juice and stir. Tart cherry is one of the few natural foods that contains a small amount of the sleep hormone your body uses to feel drowsy. Keep the total liquid small and treat it the same way, as an early part of your wind down and not a last-minute gulp. Between the chamomile and the tart cherry, you have two calming, caffeine-free, low-fluid drinks to end your day the right way. Let me now walk you through the exact evening, start to finish, so you can picture it and copy it tonight. Think of it as a countdown to sleep. Around the late afternoon, you put your legs up above your heart for 30 minutes to an hour, and you let that fluid drain and pass it out. That is habit number one, the most important one. At dinner, you keep the salt light, and you go easy on any big drinks, finishing most of your fluids about 3 hours before bed. You have had no caffeine since around noon, and no alcohol in the evening, or only a small amount much earlier. During your wind down, you sip that small warm cup of chamomile or the tart cherry water slowly, and then you stop drinking anything more than a tiny sip. Right before bed, you go to the bathroom, you empty your bladder, you wait half a minute, and you empty it again. Then you lie down. That is the whole routine. Legs up, light salt, fluids earlier, warm calming sip, double empty, sleep. I want to give you one more layer of protection, because getting up in the dark is not only annoying, it is genuinely risky. Falls are one of the greatest dangers older people face, and many of them happen on the way to the bathroom at night, in the dark, half asleep, on the way back to bed. So while we work on cutting the trips, let us also make the trips you do take safe. Keep a small night light on in the hallway and the bathroom. Clear the path of rugs, cords, shoes, and anything you could trip over. Keep your slippers right beside the bed. If you take any medicine that makes you groggy or lowers your blood pressure, be extra careful and sit on the edge of the bed for a moment before you stand. Fewer trips is the goal, but safe trips are the rule until we get there. Now I have to say something serious, because I respect you too much to leave it out. Everything I have shared with you tonight is about the most common, everyday causes of nighttime bathroom trips, and for a great many of you these habits will make a real and lasting difference. But nocturia can also be a warning sign of something that needs a doctor's attention. If your body is holding a lot of fluid, it can point to trouble with your heart or your kidneys. Waking often to urinate, along with heavy snoring or gasping in your sleep, can be a sign of sleep apnea, a condition that itself causes the body to make more urine at night. Being very thirsty and urinating a great deal can be a sign of diabetes. And for men, prostate trouble is a common cause on its own. So please talk to your doctor about your nighttime trips, especially if they came on suddenly if they are getting worse, or if you notice swelling, chest trouble, shortness of breath, or heavy daytime tiredness. This is not to frighten you. It is to make sure that while these good habits help you, nothing more serious is being missed. There is one more thing to raise with that doctor, and it is an easy one to overlook: your medicines. Some people take a water pill, a diuretic, for blood pressure or for swelling, and if they take it in the evening, it fills the bladder all night by design. Sometimes, and only with your doctor's blessing, simply moving that pill to the morning or to the afternoon can quiet the nights dramatically. Please do not change the timing of any medicine on your own. Never stop a pill without asking, but do bring it up and ask the simple question: could the timing of any of my medicines be adding to my nighttime trips? It is one short conversation that has rescued the sleep of a great many people. Let me pull all of this together, because I want you to leave with the whole picture clear in your mind. Waking up over and over to use the bathroom is not just old age you have to accept. Most of the time, it comes down to your body making too much urine at night. That happens because the hormone that once slowed your kidneys at night has faded with age, and because fluid that pooled in your legs all day comes flooding back the moment you lie flat. The fix is not to punish yourself by cutting out water. The fix is to work with your body. Drink your fluids earlier in the day. Keep moving during the day so the fluid does not pool. Put your legs up in the late afternoon and pass that water before bed. Wear compression socks by day if your ankles swell. Cut the caffeine after noon. Skip the evening alcohol and go light on salt at dinner. Sip a small warm cup of chamomile or tart cherry water to wind down. Keep your feet and your bedroom warm. Empty your bladder twice before you sleep. And let the small false alarms pass without always getting up. And have that one honest talk with your doctor about your medicines and about anything that might be hiding underneath. None of this is hard. None of it costs much. You do not need a prescription to put your feet up on a pillow or to move your coffee earlier or to reach for the herbs instead of the salt shaker. These are small, simple, gentle changes, and they add up to something wonderful, which is a full night of rest. Imagine closing your eyes and opening them again when the morning light comes in, having slept the whole way through, or nearly so. Imagine waking up rested for the first time in years. That is not a fantasy. For most of the people who take these habits seriously, it is a matter of a week or two. So here is what I want you to do. Do not just watch this and nod. Pick the biggest one first, the leg lift in the late afternoon, and do it tonight. Then add the fluid timing tomorrow. Then the salt. Then the drink. Layer them in one at a time until they are simply part of your evening. Your body has been waiting for someone to explain what is really going on, and now you know. Go put your feet up, get that water out early, and give yourself the gift of a quiet night. If this helped you understand your own nights a little better, tell me in the comments which habit you are going to try first, and come back and let me know how you slept. I read them, and your story just might help the next person who is lying awake tonight.